This week, we've got games aplenty as we chat Metroid Prime 4, Marvel Cosmic Invasion, and more. Plus, we're revisiting every year from the Game Awards and seeing which Game of the Year winners have stood the test of time. And speaking of which, in this week's Pixel Pick Showdown, we're crowning the best snubbed Game of the Year game. All this and much more on this week's Pixel Parents podcast. Hello and welcome to the next episode of the Pixel Parents podcast, the show that discusses all things gaming from the perspective of parents. I'm your host Liam Kelvin. Today, I'm of course joined by the bearded one, Scott, the tastemaker Curry. How are we, Scott?
Good evening. What about them Cowboys, Liam? I don't know why that's suddenly in my head to say that a lot, but I'm pretty good. It's been a fairly busy day, to be honest with you. We've had Christmas shows for the Wayne, and then we've had Christmas parties for the Wayne with all of our clubs and stuff like that, and thoroughly knackered, I will say that. Thoroughly fucking goosed. I'm ready for holidays, I'm not going to lie to you, but it's only going to get worse. We're recording this on the eve, not even the eve, could you say eve, the Game Awards eve?
Yeah, Game Awards eve. By the time it goes live, it'll be Game Awards past. Yeah. I don't know what you call it.
Jeff Keighley, he thaws from his ice cavern and crawls down our chimneys with a sack full of fucking trailers and blurts them all over our face when we're sleeping.
Oh, Jesus.
Or should be sleeping. And I'm excited to have the conversation about how tired we are with how late it's produced at the Game Awards and how ultimately, we're going to be disappointed by it. I feel that's going to be my initial take for this year's Game Awards. But
before it happens,
before it happens, there you go. You can come back to me and fucking tell me if I was wrong or right.
I'd love that. If he is, just please message him exclusively on Blue Sky. Just let them know, Scott, eat this crow. That's the awkward thing about doing it, man.
I'll stand by it. I'm one for making swathing, stupid statements and sticking to my guns on it. But apart from all that, I'm actually pretty good. I'm keen to have this conversation today. There's a lot of games to talk about. I feel like I've been really fucking busy this week, and there's a lot to talk about in there. And I'm really interested in this topic we have for this week as well. I think that's going to be a nice chat about, missed opportunities with the Game Awards and what should have won and what shouldn't have won. So, yeah, I'm excited to see how that goes. But how are you yourself?
I'm good, man. Yeah. I was just saying beforehand, but I feel like we're just lean, mean content making machines this week.
Nothing but content.
Listen, call us Santa, call us the elves. Your old dads are pulling out all the stops to make sure that when you're on holiday, we're not. So it's like this train doesn't stop. We want to be with you through the break, and it's something we pride ourselves on, and it's what I'm very excited about it. We've got lots of cool things there to do. It's been a lot of fun to pull it together, and it's good because I think the more you do it in this moment, it's not that you're not comfortable on the mic, but you definitely feel a little bit more warmed up, I suppose, which is ideal. And I'm good, man. Like you said, a lot of games this week. I think I've spent a lot of quality time with two games I've been looking forward to. One, as you'd expect, and one with a pretty cool crease that I'm quite excited to talk about because I think it's smack bang exactly what this show's all about. But yeah, I mean, listen, we're doing this after the Game Awards has went live. I was like to call it Winter Games Fest because that's effectively what it is. It's not about the fucking awards.
We're doing this after we're recording this before the Game Awards.
Oh, sorry, you'll be listening to this after the Game Awards. But listen, see if the stars have aligned and somehow NAC 3 has been announced, you will see a Pixel Reacts. But otherwise, you're just getting a normal episode. That's it. Because we just can't do it.
Can't churn it out, man. Can't churn it out that quickly. Can I ask a very serious question, Liam? And it's one that, given the updates on the weird statue that was found in the middle of fucking nowhere with the weird coordinates, and they've now linked it Divinity stuff. Is Divinity a game that one should play?
Yes. That's it.
Okay.
And you can get it on Switch. I played Divinity Original Sin 2 on the Switch during the pandemic and thoroughly recommend it. It's great. Okay. That was my first exposure to like Larian stuff like that as well. So
I think that
fantastic game, man.
They sold me on Baldur's Gate, so I think that there has to be a little push and pull there. So I'll maybe dip a toe. Yeah,
that was one that got recommended to me through the community on what was Twitter back in its heyday before it was bought over by some mad strange space villain. And yeah, it was, what a shout, man. I remember buying it just to, it's very much at the crest of lockdown. And man, between that and Animal Crossing, we ate well.
Aye, we did.
Definitely needed it back then. But it's worth picking up. It's a long game. But it's one that if you're going to the clergy many times, Scott, as you do, you've got good company. And after playing Baldur's Gate 3, it's not going to play the exact same, but it's you kind of know what to expect a little bit.
The DNA is in there.
Yeah. Very different type of game, but it's not too different at the same time. But I'd recommend it if you're wanting a wee bit of that type of fantasy. Absolutely tremendous stuff. But yeah, it's going to be a good old week, but we've got lots to talk about, so I'm going to shut the hell up and just get some housekeeping out the road first of all. So yeah, for those listening, as you know, this is the Pixel Parents Podcast, the weekly podcast by parents who game for those who do the same, where each week we discuss all things gaming whilst raising our little ones. Now, every Friday you can listen and see your old dads talk video games on YouTube, Spotify and Apple Podcasts, so please subscribe to us on YouTube if you're not there already so you don't miss our mugs. And if you want to be part of the podcast, come say hello, share your thoughts with us at pixelparents.bsky.social on Blue Sky, or even write to us at pixelparentspodcast@gmail.com. And finally, if you want to support this show, join our free Patreon so you don't miss an episode, chat with the community and get bonus shows all for free at patreon.com/pixelparents. And if you're not there, leave a wee 5-star review on your podcast platform of choice, wherever you get your podcasts online. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell anybody. Whatever you choose to do makes a massive difference. If you have done it, thank you. If you get to do it, go on, give it a go. Tell your people about Pixel Parents. But of course, thank you to everybody that continues to join us each and every week. It means the world. Now, Scott, out of the road, kick things off. What have you been playing this week?
Okay, I'll start with the ones that you haven't been playing, and then we can merge and meet in the middle. We can merge and evolve. So I've been playing a lot of Demonschool, kicking off with that. I said last week that I hoped to have it finished for this week, and I haven't, Liam. That is a game that keeps on going, and not in a way that it's like, oh my God, going to hurry up. Like, it continues to throw interesting story beats, more characters, more abilities, more upgrades. It's everything that you come to expect from a game like this, and it just continues to impress me. To be honest with you, the combat is just it's not even just combat anymore. It's puzzles. Like it's a puzzle game for puzzle fighter, for want of a better term. It's like you have to move your pieces around this chessboard, and then everything happens, and then you see the sort of results of it. And I love it. I genuinely love it. I can't. If I take a hit or one of my characters dies, immediately restart the fight all over again. So I can make sure that I'm winning that fight without any issue. And as I say, the story continues to build and build and build, and you're starting to create this wee party of characters like Faye. I didn't really jive with her at first, but she's a fucking excellent protagonist. She's so funny. I love them all. Destin is an absolute highlight as well. I've just met T. And I've met someone else. I think it's like Anai or something like that, or something weird. But they all have their quirks, and they all have their own sort of special abilities. Like T is hench, is all hell. So anytime you want to open like heavy doors in the game, you call on her and she basically just rips them open. It's like, this is fucking class. I would say that the enemy variety, just in terms of, you know, your basic battles, is probably a bit wanting as the game goes on. Like, it's not throwing many new demons at me, but a small gripe. You know, it's the tiniest issue that I have with it, but it's a phenomenal game. Can say that word now, Liam. And that's a wee teaser for later on in the month for you all. And what do you call it? The music in it is just incredible as well. Like, there's a song that plays when you go into combat, and it's like it just builds and builds and builds when you're in your planning phase, and then when you go and basically hit X and you go, it fucking bursts out the gates, and it's fucking amazing. Just like the synth and stuff like that. It's just like, oh my god, this is so cool. And any single, you know, moment that I have to play anything, it has been Demonschool. If I've got like a spare bit of time, I'm pumping hours into Demonschool, and I'm loving it, genuinely loving it. I think that this will be, you know, this is one that I'll continue to go back to over time. I want to see the ending and stuff like that as well, and it's got a lot in common with your Persona franchise and stuff as well, but there's a lot of its own DNA in there, and I think that for a game that it came out of nowhere, really, it's done a good job in sort of maintaining my interest. And, you know, I wouldn't say it's a Liam Cut Kelvin joint, but it's definitely one that, you know, I see some of our fans playing, especially if you've got a Switch or something that's quite good for handheld. But in accompaniment to that, we also got a wee code for a game that you had found online. And you thought, you know what, Scott, this seems like a Scott jam. And, you know, it is. So talk a bit about Nicktoons and the Dice of Destiny. If you've seen the artwork for this game, it's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, it's imagine Nicktoons characters in Diablo. You know what I mean? Like, SpongeBob is front and center, and, like, you know, a helmet, like with armor on and stuff like that as well, wielding a spatula. You've got Leonardo from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Sandy Cheeks is in there from SpongeBob. There's characters from Avatar. Timmy from Fairly Odd Parents is in there as well. And as the game goes on, you're unlocking more and more characters. But basically, it plays out like a Diablo game. That's the easiest way to describe it. It's baby's first Diablo. If you want to, if you're wanting the sort of the easiest way to sort of explain it, but it really sort of builds on, like, when the game starts, you're in the shoes of Timmy Turner playing Dungeons and Dragons, basically, and he makes a wish that he wants this game to be real, and Cosmo and Wanda then make it real and take you into this world. And you start to meet all the characters in that world and see how they fit in, and you have to go and find these. It's like they call them like shooting stars, but it's the dice for the Dungeons and Dragons game. And, you know, it's a great premise. You know what I mean? Like, just something daft and something fun that if you're a child, if you're playing it with a child, it's like they could get that. You know what I mean? Like, they would understand that. For the adults in the room, there's loads of nostalgia. So if you're playing this as someone who grew up in the Nicktoons era, who maybe watched a lot of SpongeBob as you grew up, or, you know, were fans of the Avatar series, or had watched, you know, Fairly Odd Parents here and there, you're going to get it. You know what I mean? Like, the Crimson Chin, you meet him within the first 10 minutes and, you know, gets a laugh out of you because it's fucking hilarious. That massive fucking chin, it's great. So it does a lot there, and I think those are the highlights for the game. I've played a good 6-7 hours so far, and I think that's given me a good understanding as to what to expect from this. You know, the combat leaves you a little bit wanting, but that is maybe a sort of criticism for something that's a game that's not designed to be, you know, difficult or like hard to play. You know, you've got your main attacks, you've got, you know, your magic spells and your skill moves, and basically that's you've got a dodge, and that's basically it. you can tinker with your armor, so you're finding armor sets as you go through. You're finding weapons and stuff, so you're constantly upgrading those as you would come to expect. But it is, I think it's just a good wee time. Like, I think that if I had to say anything about it, it's just a nice wee time to play something that's not it's not you're not watching gruesome cutscenes from Diablo where a person gets stripped of their flesh on a boat and it's the most horrible thing that you've ever seen, or the beginning of Baldur's Gate where you watch that thing go in the person's eye. It's like, like, and this it's just jokes and it's all voice acted. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's you're not reading the words on the screen. It's all lovingly voice acted by, from what it seems like, the authentic voice actors as well. So in a world where AI is dominant in voice acting, you could have probably got away with it by this, and they've not. They've really gone to town with that, and I think that's appreciated. And as I say, I've not tried it with my daughter yet. I think that I would have to explain what she has to do. You've got your different missions and stuff. So when you finish the tutorial mission, it takes you into a place called, I want to say it's called the Tangent.
Yeah,
that might be completely incorrect, but basically that's like your hub world. And the hub world, then the Tangle, sorry, there you go. And it's basically an area where you can upgrade your materials, you can upgrade your weapons or armors, and that is where you take on missions and you come back and then you go from there. And the characters, it starts off with nobody there, and then it's I can't even remember her name. Laurie Allen from Metal Gear Solid 3 plays her in SpongeBob SquarePants. It's the dolphin. No, not the dolphin. It's like the whale. The one that's she's there. The Crimson Chin there. The Crimson Chin. The Christmas Chin, and one of the wee guys from Jimmy Neutron's in there as well, I'm sure. I was never a fan of Jimmy Neutron. I thought he looked weird as fuck, but it was,
not untrue, to be fair.
Not untrue, yeah. And that cast of characters grow as you play. It's excellent. And one of the cool things about it is that you can make it harder. Like if you want to jump in and replay some of the missions, when you go to the initial beginning screen of a mission, it says play on easy, play on normal, or play on hard. And it increases the difficulty from there in terms of the level of the characters that you're fighting. And you do notice that difference in it. I played it on each one, and there is a noticeable difference. So if you're wanting to play this for a bit more challenge, then you can. But I think that if you're playing this with a little one, just set the expectations. It's not going to be this vast, incredible moment-to-moment gameplay. It can be a bit monotonous, moving from bit to bit, just fighting hordes of enemies, and then coming back with your gear and going from there again to ultimately find all these pieces. But I would like to spend a bit more time with it, if I'm being honest. I think it's one that, with it having released before, so this isn't its initial release, this is it coming to the Switch too, with, all the bells and whistles that you would expect from something like that. Coming, like 60 frames per second. It's got increased resolution to 1240p, as well as lighting and particle effects and things too. So it's definitely an upgrade from what to expect from the game as well. But it's cool. Like it is really, really interesting. And I think that for the little ones and some of the artwork in the game, you've got Angelica Pickles, you've got all the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you've got Patrick Star. Like it's definitely something that is going to cater to people out there that might even just see this on the eShop, see this on any shop that they're playing on, and go, I could go for a game like that. Do you know what I mean? Like something a bit less intense, but it does have a place, and I think it's a nice addition to a handheld. To be honest with you, I think it's a decent wee game. So I'll maybe, if I do replay it, or if I do continue to play it, I'll let everyone know. But I think that it's worth a go if you've got the option to buy it. Continuing on, I have also restarted Red Dead Redemption 2 after teasing it on shows weeks ago, and I don't regret anything, Liam.
Absolutely,
It's genuinely still mind blowing how good this game is. I said this to you the other night, is that every single moment and movement in that game is so, like, it's so necessary, and everything is so intentional. Like, there's no wasted movement in it. It feels like every single time you open a door to walk into a shop in that game, and it is so fucking natural. It's like you're not bursting through the door and standing there like, ooh. It's like Arthur walks in and it's like, it's just ridiculous, man. Playing through the initial sections in the snowstorm, up in the grizzlies, and coming back down the way towards Horseshoe Overlook, it's like, we're fucking back, man. We are so back.
Yeah,
and I spent so much time just walking through the initial camp, just talking to all the characters and listening to a bit about what they talk about. And there's so much more in there that I never ever heard before. It's like some of the conversations between like Javier and some of the other characters like Micah and things like that as well. It's like you get tidbits of information just living in the world, not barreling through trying to finish the game at 100 million miles an hour. It's take your time with it, and that's what that's what it wants you to do. Maybe to its detriment for some people, but I'm not going to come on here every single week and tell you every single moment of what I've been doing in Red Dead Redemption 2, because you've either played it or you haven't played it.
Of course.
And if you haven't played it, this is one of those games where if there was a bucket list of games that you have to play before you die, this is number one, I think. You know, even on the deathbed, at that last moment of Red Dead Redemption 2, that would be the perfect way to go. As I say, it'd be like, I'm ready now. Like,
still,
I am ready, but I'll let you know how things are going if I want to. But that has been my week in games for this week. It's been a pretty chunky week, to be honest with you, and that's not even talking about the big other thing in the room that we've not spoken about already. But what about yourself, Liam? I know you've got a few to talk about as well.
I'll say one I've been playing myself, and then I'll come back to the last one. Which I'm going to go off like a nerd here on that last one. But I suppose I've been finally got my hands on Metroid Prime 4 Beyond over the past week, and Scott, man, it's so good. It's so good. I'm just so happy to be back. I can't quite describe to you the feelings of just that rush of nostalgia, and it's all largely thanks to the audio cues that you get within this game. It takes you right back to the first time playing Metroid Prime, the original. And man, it's something I've just thoroughly enjoyed at the end of my evenings, just going back and getting lost in that classic Metroid Prime type of gameplay. And it is just one of those games that they've nailed that type of the feel, the creepy ambience of a Metroid game. Now, there is some new additions in here, which kind of goes against the grain to that, but I'll just talk about the good things first. For me, it just feels like that Metroid Prime gameplay is there, and when it is, it's glorious. You know what I mean? You're scanning, you're exploring, you're getting those abilities, and you're backtracking and get even more. Explore again, explode and grow, and just kind of solving things in front of you is endlessly rewarding. There's always something in front of you to do. And of course, like, you do have to engage your brain a bit, because you might get run into the odd little, I don't know, bottleneck. You're like, where was I was going again? You do have to kind of go back, but there's things in the game to kind of help you here and, dare I say, modernise it slightly. I would say, like, going into this, I remember, so did we balls get a review code for that one? Do you know what I mean? But listen to the reviews and that, and the thing that pricked my ears was this Zelda comparison, and I have to now. I see it now, having played it. You know, it's particularly, there's an open desert that was kind of shown off this area in the trailers, and linking that to, you know, like Hyrule Field, for example, and like Ocarina. There's like the classic biomes and that you have here as well, and it does get to feel almost dungeon-like. You know, you kind of go here and explore it, get your stuff, get back out, and they're all excellently designed. But I mean, that's more of a Nintendo hallmark rather than the Zelda one, I would say. But it was something that I'm just thoroughly enjoying. I'd say I'm about 60% of the way through the game, and I am a scanning fiend, as you have to do, Scott. Every new bit, you go there, if it's green, that thing's getting scanned. So I'm spending like pretty much 50% of my time scanning everything. In this one, Samus has basically been given these new psychic abilities, which is it's just a glorified way of just kind of using up some abilities that you can slowly unlock and access new areas with. A lot of it is kind of goofily psychic laid things. So you get like psychic boots, for example. It's just a bit goofy sounding, which then helps you do double jumps and gets to different platforms. You can access more of the map when you're backtracking and stuff like that. You can still do your classy things like your mothball and your arm cannon, and you'll get different types of, methods of firing. You get like your fire shot and stuff like that. You'll get your grapple hook. You'll get your charge. Everything that you can imagine is there from the past. So just kind of just sprinkle little wee bits on top of it. But on the whole, man, I am just so happy to be back there. And I have to say, playing this game in 120 hertz on a Nintendo device is mind blowing. Like, it runs like an absolute dream on it. Of course, I'm not sitting there pixel counting, but it's butter smooth. Handheld experience was fantastic. The docked experience equally fantastic. I did bump it to the quality mode, which is like 4K 60, and man, once you go 120, you're just never going back. And that's before Metroid Prime 4. But it's definitely, I was like, maybe I'll just check it out, and it looks gorgeous at points, to the point where you're like, yeah, Nintendo can do it when they want to. Is it the most gorgeous game ever? No, but it's a very, very beautiful game to play at points.
That's what I was going to ask you about, because I have seen no more than 4 times on social media the sentiment that games do not need to look better than this.
Yeah.
So it's like, and everything that I've seen from it in terms of, in motion, I'm like, really? Like, are you sure about that? Like, I've watched parts of it. I've listened to podcasts. You know me, I have no interest in this game. I've no skin in the game on this. Do you know what I mean? But it's something that a lot of the criticism that I'm seeing from it is that, it's a gorgeous game, but there are parts of it that are just like barren. You're talking about the desert and stuff like that as well. Like, it's not interesting. You know what I mean? Like, you've got green crystals or some pish like that, but that's basically it. I think that some of the highs that they talk about are, you're talking about the dungeons, you're talking about certain areas. Vault Tower, I think, is one of them, or something like that, or Vault something. Seems to be the highlight for a lot of people. But it's something that, you know me, Liam. I am not one driven by FOMO. Personally, I'm not a FOMO man, but I have been looking at this game in stores like, maybe I could. You know what I mean? Like, it's like Bilbo Baggins and Frodo and Lord of the Rings. Like, why should I? Like, why should I not? Or something like whatever he fucking says. It's like, I'm keen to see. I can't hear what you're saying, mate. You are muted. It's the beginning of lockdown.
Evidence again that you are a Lord of the Rings fan, so I'm saying. But yeah, listen, see if you were to go back there, and I'm not finished here, so I ain't coming with a score here, right? But right now, my experience so far, I'd say it's a bit of solid 8, right? But that's not my final verdict. What I would say is, if you're going to do it, go back and just play Metroid Prime Remastered.
I think
it's like genuinely an old-timer.
I think that's probably what I would do, because you would get that cheaper, and it gives me the foot in the door with it, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I think those negatives that you mentioned, they are real. Like the desert area, going on Viola, which is your like kind of bike, you get to a Kira slide everywhere. That's okay. The bike itself doesn't feel great to handle. So those desert sections when you're going across, and all you've really got is big barren areas with the odd green crystal, as you mentioned. The odd enemy there where you literally can just hold the button to auto target and it gets rid of them. It's just not populated enough of things to do to kind of justify its existence. I would have much preferred a smaller hub world in itself and just going in between it. And it's like, yeah, if that shaves 45 minutes to an hour off of my total playtime, I'm cool with that. Because it is a slog going in between the biomes. There's nothing interesting in between it, and it's definitely a low point of the game. What I would say is, heading into it, now we saw all the scuttlebutt online, in regards to the NPCs, particularly Miles Mackenzie, who's one of the first NPCs you meet in the game. And the way that the previews had kind of sold it, I suppose, to us heading into the game, I was a little bit worried, thinking, God, man, this might be quite annoying if this is the same thing that's coming through. All bar one preview I heard. But I have to say, the old adage, having played it, mountain, molehill. I mean, God's honest truth. I really do think that sometimes these, and it's very rarely it can happen. I think each to their own, but there is a little bit of that echo chamber, I suppose, in the room. The previous, like, oh, this guy was annoying. It's like, yeah, I thought he was annoying too, and then it's just kind of off the come. Go to YouTube the next day, and then it's there. For me personally, and I'm saying this to most people, I think that average gamer such as ourselves, the average hardcore gamer, I would just say that whole Miles thing, it's not a big deal. It's nowhere near as bad as what it was billed as online. I would actually say God of War was a worse offender than this for me, with Atreus. Even The Last of Us, with Ellie and anybody else that's a sidekick with you in the journey, constantly, nipping away in your ears. That I've had more moments of quiet, peace, and exploration playing this than what I have in those games, to be fair. And that's the God's honest truth. So the ambience is still there. If you're worried about it going in, thinking, I just don't want that, honestly, it's not as bad as what it's been billed. However,
I would say just before you move on to anything, because all of the I've listened to so many. I'm trying to prepare myself for shows a lot better than I have been, Liam. Right? Because I can be guilty of making things up as I go along, but when it comes to this and the whole Miles thing and the NPCs, 9 times out of 10, any podcast that I'm listening to talking about it, they say that the hour that they showed, where Miles is in it, was the worst hour that they could have shown in the whole game. Is that there's moments where the NPCs can't talk to you. You're literally limited in terms of communications, and that takes you back to the look and feel of what Metroid used to be. And that's great. That's exactly what you want from this, but it's as you say, mountains out of molehills. As gamers and as people who play video games, it's just a natural thing. We all hate video games.
I mean, that's the thing to remember. Like, I think you're on a deadline. You've been sent to a big flash preview event. You've got to squeeze every last ounce out of it. But it's important to look at it in context and perspective, having played it now. I was under the impression that this guy Miles would be with you, like almost like a reverse follow quest for like hours. If I were to tell you that the stretch that he's with you, probably I'd say is 20 minutes max, and that's if you're stopping and take your time. You could blast through it way less, 5 to 10 minutes, I'd say. After that, he's dumped at a base camp, and he'll just pop up on radio if the game's gently trying to push you in a direction, and that's what I would say. This is the however. I feel that they've put these NPCs such as Miles in the game to make it more accessible for newer players. And me, myself, I'm not opposed to that. It's been a while since we've had a Metroid Prime game. And it can be, it's not like Dark Souls or anything like that, where you're kind of like, what the hell do I do next? But if you are, let's face it, a younger gamer, maybe someone less experienced, Metroid Prime trilogy was a long time ago. And you could be a teenager now getting your hands on this. You could get it at Christmas, whatnot. And it's not the best at really telling you where to go. It does tell you things, but because there's big sparse desert area in the middle, you could be at the moments like, would you know what? Actually, there's that Miles guy just phoned me. I better go towards it. And you meet other NPCs as you go. You can go back to their base campus of sorts, talk to them, and they can help you get other abilities. But I would say, having played it, that isn't as annoying, anywhere near as annoying as it was pitched at the previews. I do think that this is a welcome return for the series so far, and I've been loving it. I can't wait to go back and play more, man. So, and if you're thinking about it, Scott, please go do Metroid Prime Remastered. I might actually go pick it up myself again. I've not played it since the OG. You could allegedly emulate it, I suppose. There's nothing you could do. Allegedly
have a look at it. It's, as I say, it's never been a series that interested me, even when it comes down to, the Metroid and Metroidvania. You know what I mean? I've always been a Vania man more than a Metroid man. So it's a tough one, but maybe there's something there. There's obviously juice to the juice to it. So juice to the squeeze. I could, if I can think of the term there. But we speak a lot about these games, and with this one, it seems to be more divisive than I thought it would be, though, in that people are either so high on it or completely the opposite. It's like there's no, and that's obviously taste and people's own preference and stuff, and that's absolutely fine. But it seems to kind of fall into the the sort of camp where Mario sits at the moment, like the Mario Kart world. It's very much like, it's not the banger that Donkey Kong Bonanza was. It's a good game, and people are understanding of that, but it has its pitfalls, and in a year of the debut, we're now 6 months into the life of the Nintendo Switch. You know what I mean? Like, we're talking about Donkey Kong Bonanza being the best game on the Nintendo Switch in terms of, Nintendo published. So, very interesting.
As yeah, do you know what? And the thing to remember is Metroid has never been their A tier, their big seller as well. This probably has, it's coming underneath the Kirby, your Pikmins and all that even as well. But it's beloved. It's definitely the best they could offer to a certain type of game. I'm looking for something a little, I wouldn't say the word mature, but just a little bit more involved, I would say, but yeah, I look forward to kind of coming back and talk more about it. But I'll move on quickly because we've spun a bit of a yarn there on Metroid Prime 4. But another game we've both been playing, and Scott, man, you're going to have to stop me here, but it's something I've been absolutely delighted with, being the resident nerd boy here for Marvel, and that's Marvel Cosmic Invasion. Scott, man, I'm so happy. So happy. And I'll tell you why, right? I'll tell you why. All nerd stuff aside, I've approached this differently. Right? I know we've both been playing it, but I have been playing this exclusively co-op with my son, and I am not touching it otherwise. So this will be the first game, technically, new game that we have both experienced at the exact same time, and we'll finish at the start to finish together, which I'm feeling it's a special moment. But do you know what? It's bloody perfect for it, because picture it, you're a wee person and you're just like, I just want to just push this button, hit things, move up and down, and then you co-piloting, because effectively carrying them through the experience. For anybody unfamiliar, it's a beat 'em up game made by the same guys that made the Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge, I believe, as well. And yeah, it's, my God, what a bloody game, man. Like, what's your thoughts before I go off on a bloody tangent here?
I think that coming from the point of view where, as yourself, I'm playing this with the wee one pretty much from start to finish, like, will not let me play this game by myself, even if I wanted to. It's been an excellent experience, having that ability, as you say, where we can carry them through the game. And even when they do pull things off and manage to, clear a room or, get the last hit on a boss, it's like we celebrate like, we've won the lottery. It's fucking phenomenal. It's also done a good job at introducing her to characters that she'd never even thought of before. Never in my life would I have thought my daughter would have been quite possibly Storm's biggest fan. No idea why, but she's
awesome.
Obsessed with her. Like, I will change character every single time in accordance to what the game recommends that you pick.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
So I'll do those, and I'll do the challenges as we go through each level, but she will literally go Storm and any other character, especially new characters if we get them. So
God, yeah.
We recently got, a new character, and it's been like phenomenal just seeing her change it and have a go with them. But it just seeing the understanding. Like, she knows exactly what she needs to do to change characters. She knows her special attack. She knows what to look for when that bar goes up. She knows when to press it. She knows that if you hit boxes, you'll find food, and you can get your health up and stuff like that as well. And that's without me communicating that to her. You know what I mean? Like, it does such a good job of just
very intuitive.
Yeah, it's very intuitive, but it's for what it does so well in gameplay. And this is my only criticism of the game, Liam, is that I could not tell you what's happening in this fucking game. Like, and I don't think I need to be honest with you. Like, I could play through it without having to know, but it would be nice to have a point where I would be like to the wee one, like, yeah, this is why we need to do this. Like, I've got no fucking Scooby what's going on. And even the wee mini cutscenes that you get pre and post level, I can't hear what they're saying for the most part. It goes so quickly, and I also just don't know what they're talking about. So that might be a Marvel thing that I've just had no experience of it, but you'll obviously let me know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, first off, they're obviously aping the retro game style. you know. So that's effectively why we're just getting those little snippets. If you remember, I'll use the example here of one of the first games I remember an adaptation playing. It was on the Sega Master System. It was a Jurassic Park. And it was like you kind of go through the levels and you kind of got a little bit of the story that kind of made sense, but you went through anyway. And it was more just like, oh, look, there's Dr. Grant, or there's a T-Rex. It was just almost like a visual reference point. It's like, this is pretty cool. But I suppose what they're effectively taking inspiration from here is the Annihilation storyline, obviously with Annihilus being your big bad. And it's very much in the cosmic pantheon of the Marvel Universe. I mean, you're going to be getting deep cuts all the way through this, but you don't need to know about it. For me, one thing I love is that my son's taking after me, right? He's loving Marvel stuff. We've got the Marvel Encyclopedia. We go through stuff, and when he first saw the likes of Galactus, who he had such a buzz to see on screen with Fantastic Four this year for the longest time. But
like, it's just to interrupt you for 10 seconds, is that my daughter and wife watched Fantastic Four without me, right? And when Galactus showed up on screen, she was like, like, she knew exactly who it was. It was brilliant. Like, it was great to see.
He's just one of those villains, so iconic, and it's the same like with Silver Surfer and all that. So that film gave him his first exposure to Silver Surfer, really, because he's not really watched any cartoons. He's not reading comics naturally, so he can't read. It's like he's seen that, but this is his first experience of like the male Fantastic Silver Surfer, because he saw the female version, Shalabal from First Steps, which is great, but he's got those reference points, which I love. So now it's like, right, this is Annihilus. Oh, this is Null. You know Venom. Well, Null, King of the Symbiotes. You know, it's like the King in Black. Get used to him. He's the most metal Marvel character of all time, but he's relatively new. I mean, he goes through it. You talk about mains. I mean, he's the one. He does what you do, Scott. He'll change all the time. So I'm like, right, okay, that's fine. And I'll let him pick first. So if he's picking somebody, then if it's somebody that I would usually stick with, then I'll just kind of work around it. But I found that when we go mains, then we tend to progress. And to be fair, I've only been stuck on a couple of bosses.
It's hard.
It can be, yeah, it can be, but I do love the boss battles in it. Yeah. Some of them are surprisingly hard, but there's like ones I would probably say more gimmick style bosses, which are great. And the villain roster here is excellent, man. Like, there's ones that you'll fight to unlock the character themselves. You'll have the ones that you see like in the box on the way in. Aforementioned Annihilus, you got Thanos. Like I said, you'll fight Silver Surfer at one point as well. There's so many within there. You had Hela. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head as well.
Venom, Dark Phoenix.
Dark Phoenix, you had Falavel as well, who you obviously unlock as Captain Marvel. I'm more known as Martyr myself, but it's amazing to see, like, so many characters. But to come back to the mains, right, I will main Black Panther and Captain America for two reasons. Right, and this is the strategy. Because it means he can pick who he wants. So he's like, I want to go Spider-Man. He tends to pick flying characters, and he hasn't quite got the hang of it, but he's brilliant with Wolverine. This is the moment. He loves Wolverine, but now he can actually go him. And it's like, right, okay, off you go. Because he's been dying to watch like Deadpool Wolverine. I can't do it because he's too young.
Oh my God.
But it's like, he's got that exposure to Wolverine through the cartoons. We'll watch that. But yeah, he's watched like some of the other X-Men films as well. He's seen Wolverine about, but him getting to go that is a pure buzz. But the reason I picked Black Panther and Cap is simple. Black Panther has a broken move where he basically just can kick any enemy out of the sky and back down, and Captain America's basically his block, essentially a parry. Every boss battle, you just lock them, and it absolutely destroys them every single time. So it just means that's a little get out of jail card, because I'm not going to spam every boss. But if there is that moment, it's like, right, his health's getting a bit low, let's just kind of speed this along a wee bit. I think Falavel was probably the hardest one for us, next 100%. To Hela. But those ones are just a lot, they're not tricky. It's just that if you're playing with, we're playing with 5-year-olds, you know what I mean? So we're hardly going to be getting the biggest strategy here. But man, it's been just such a blast. And it's not a long game as well. Not a long game. I think you can get through that easily in about 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah, easy. We've been blasting through it and loving every single minute of it. I must echo the sentiment of Captain America in that if there's someone I'm sticking with, it's Captain America.
Yes.
I do like Iron Man as well, just purely for the ultimate. I love that shit. But it's been a total surprise package. I had not had any interest in it, and then just seeing it come out, being like, you know what, I'll give it a go, and I'll show her it, and then we'll see what she thinks. And she was like, "Can we play it?" I was like, "Well, aye, I've got an Xbox controller in there, like fucking too right then." So we just stuck it on, and every single night this week it's been, can we jump on there and play a level? And that's what we do. Jump on at the end of the night, jump into a level, half an hour, you're done, and then it's just move on with the rest of our day. And it's just been excellent for that. It's those wee moments that make it really worth it for us. And I really enjoy that.
It's special, and I look forward to more of these type of moments for us as well. And as well, I just love these little touch points that they have, because if I could, I'd just split the right, son, you go read Annihilation and there's Secret Wars and all the rest of it. But these are the touch points you remember as kids, the Spider-Man Fox Kids TV show was such a defining moment for our generations, because it got you into Spider-Man effectively. And then you could go read comics, and then before you know it, Tobey Maguire films are out and all the rest of it. For this, it's like, oh, who's Beta Ray Bill? Who's Cosmic Ghost Rider? I'm like, right, son, sit down. Let me tell you a tale of a man called the Punisher. You know what I mean? And, let's talk about Beta Ray Bill, who was the monster. Remember Stormbreaker from Infinity War? Well, he wanted Mjolnir from Thor, but now they've got Stormbreaker instead. All this type of stuff. It's amazing. And you got the villain. I know. Mega Nerd is like, who's that? I'm like, it's MODOK. The actual MODOK, not the terrible one from the film.
Oh, how dare you? The strangest face, but it's so funny.
It's not actual MODOK at the end of the day. It's kind of been slightly retconned, but even it's a Nova as well in here. Just one of the most badass Marvel characters out there. And it's the little details as well, though, Scott. And I'll finish on that. It's just like, if you go Venom, you can see Eddie Brock underneath the symbiote and stuff like that. And it's absolutely gorgeous, the game. Like, to the point where if I had the opportunity to play it handheld, like on the Switch or something, I'd happily just blast through a game like that, because it's just such a joy to play that you can just kind of switch your mind off for a bit, beat them up, feel good. But see, when you're getting to like combos of like 200 plus on it, you feel like a god.
I know. And it's worth doing that, because it pays off.
Yeah.
When you finish each level, you get more upgrade stuff for it. So it's brilliant, and it rewards you for playing with the same characters over and over again. So it's as I say, it's one I'll keep on coming back to, and I look forward to finishing it. And Liam, permit me 2.5 minutes to talk about something else really quickly. We both played 2.5 minutes, because we both had the opportunity to play the closed beta for Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls.
Indeed.
And I have never been more convinced that I want a fighting game in my fucking life, Liam.
Oh, yes.
And this has started a love affair with Captain America that I didn't know I had in my heart. An incredible character in that fucking game. I'm not going to get into strategies and fucking the way the game works, because I can't be arsed, right? But if you've played any Arc System Works games, if you've played Dragon Ball FighterZ, you've played this game.
Yeah.
It has the simple button system where you hit square 4 times, you get a sort of a light combo with an attack on the end, like a special attack on the end. Hit triangles heavy with a bigger attack, and then you've obviously got the other buttons there as well. But it's the relationships that you have between the characters. Like the roster we have there right now is tiny.
Yeah,
there's like 8. Spider-Man and Captain America, Iron Man, Storm, Doom. Star-Lord, Doom, and Miss Marvel.
Yep.
Somebody else is missing there.
That's all I can remember anyway.
Can't remember, right? But Spider-Man, fuck's sake. So 8. And basically, you teams of 4, and they have this synergy. So any Marvel game that you've played, you basically can swap in, swap out. You can tag them in to kind of carry on attacks. And it's gorgeous, and it's ridiculous looking. Yeah, it's sensational looking. They've done a really good job with sort of animating animizing these characters in such a cool way, like pure Japanification of them. It's like when you see Iron Man's suit for the first time in that game with the weird fucking head
So
thing,
cool.
it's like,
Gundam.
oh, this shit's cool as fuck. Even I'm such a fan of Captain America in it, though. I think that his shield moves and stuff like that, and the way that plays out in the whole game, I was absolutely obliterating folk in it. It was so good.
We need more Captain America games, though, man. Like, particularly in a fighting game, it's just so apt.
It's just like, it's so perfect the way that it works, and I'm excited to see with this year, with the game obviously coming out in 2026. I think that the build up of this roster and what we're going to see, because the game has areas where you go to, you're outside the Xavier house place, and you see, some of the people in the background. You see Rogue, I'm pretty sure. You see Nightcrawler, I want to say. I'm pretty sure Iceman's in there as well. You see them in the background. There's loads of wee throwbacks to different areas as well that you'll know better than I do, but you can see them in the world and stuff like that as well. So I'm so excited to see how these characters drop. But I think that if there's another closed beta, I'll 100% jump into it. If there's an open beta, even better. Get me fucking in there, because I will be there day one. And I think that this has the opportunity to be an absolute fucking banger for PlayStation next year.
Yeah,
like if they can stick the landing with this roster, and it's a deep enough roster to manage, because it's 4 characters per round. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if they can manage it, then they have something really special here, and I'm so excited to see where it goes.
Oh yeah, I echo that as well, man. Like, I had a blast playing it. Of course, I found, like I said it when it was announced, Doom will lead my party, and I had such a good time playing him. He's just badass, represented well, the big man. But yeah, I think I did get scammed in one match on it, though. There was that element of sweat, as you do get with the Arc System Works games, but it was just 2 rounds. You've got to win 3 rounds to go, so it's best of 5, isn't it? But first 2 rounds, I'm absolutely scalping this guy. My son's watching me, and he's like, "Can I play?" And I'm like, "You can't, son, because it's online. So just watch me play, because otherwise you're just going to get upset, because he doesn't like getting beat. Nobody does." And then the first 2 rounds, I'm like, "Man, look at this. Your old dad's good at this game. Look at this." And then all of a sudden, he's just totally sat and played possum, and then he just scalps me 3 rounds in a go. Like, absolutely didn't get a look in.
Aye, that's how it goes.
It is, yeah. But I'm actually looking forward to playing it, because I think this is one, because as I mentioned before, he loves fighting games, and this is exactly the type of stuff that they need more of. And I could probably go look at the Marvel Capcom collection, so I've actually not even thought of that. But taking those IPs, taking some good gameplay mechanics together, this is the type of stuff that can, shape gamers of tomorrow, but also for us old hat gamers. I think there's a lot in there to have fun with. I could totally see this being a great game to play if you've got friends around, if you're not wanting to be like an online gamer. Like, I speak for that part of the fighting community, I suppose, which is like, I much prefer if you're going to play people in person, or like actually play some form of like campaign against the computer type thing, because this is where I'm saying I'm just not that good at them anymore, but I still like to play them. It was like the Tekken 8 experience last year, so looking forward to seeing more on it, and it's one to watch. But Scott, I think we should probably move on, because we're quickly running out of time, but it's going to be like a very quick main topic. Not too quick though, so don't go anywhere yet. But before we move on, should I say, if you enjoy the show and you want to support us, you can, and it won't cost you a penny. So please join our free Patreon community by visiting patreon.com/pixelparents for every show, chats, and bonus shows, including side quests with Scott, and they're free all the time. And as well, don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube. Just go visit youtube.com/pixelparents podcast. You'll find us there. You'll see our handsome mugs. Hit that wee subscribe button, and we heart you for doing that. But it's time now for us to move on to the main topic, Scott. So, as we know, we're speaking from the past when the Game Awards has just went ahead. It's been a great night of awards, trailers. But we're here to talk about the awards, and I thought we could just have a little bit of fun here, in terms of like almost an audit of all the Game of the Year winners from the Game Awards from its inception in 2014 all the way up to pretty much last year. And we're going to be asking the question, did the winners, did they deserve it? Or is it ones have they stood the test of time? Or when we look at the ones that was nominated alongside us, are ones that we're thinking in hindsight, has history actually shone a good light on it, or is it actually maybe something else should have taken it that year? Now, caveat here I want to add, this is just a bit of fun, right? Because in God's honest truth, these awards mean piss all, right? Like any game award, it doesn't mean anything. You've got to take it with a pinch of salt. So if you're still upset, or if there's any butt hurt, just chill. If your game didn't win, or if it didn't win back in the day, and you love it, you go love it. You go play it. That's it. But we're just going to have a wee bit of fun here because I think it's a good topic of discussion, isn't it? It's awards season, so we'll just have a wee bit of fun. Fun in games. Fun in games. But Scott, we're going to start at the top. Now, that would be 2025. I would be bold here and pretend that, it's that's it. Let's face it, it's clear obscure in it. But let's just skip 2025. But what I would say is, right, if you're interested in seeing what our 2025 game of the year is, then just stay tuned. Something coming your way in the next couple of weeks. That's all I'll say, right? Teasers upon teasers.
Power Wash Simulator 2.
Exactly. We won, people. We won. But we'll start at 2024, right? So what I'm going to do is just give you the winner, the nominees, and then let's just talk about it as we go through. Could be just a very straightforward all day long, or if there's ones where we want to just halt the brakes and see if it's actually stood up. But 2024, the Game of the Year winner then was Astrobot, PlayStation's exclusive adorable juggernaut from last year. It was nominated alongside Balatro, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree, bit of a contentious one if you remember, Black Myth Wukong, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Metaphor ReFantazio.
Boo!
Yeah, so, Scott, I'm going to make this easy for you and hand it over to you. For me, Astrobot, I've just got notes here saying all day. Like, that's it. But it was a close one with Balatro, but...
Yeah, I think that... I think that if it wasn't Astrobot, it was Balatro, to be honest with you. I think Balatro would have been a better story. But I think that Astrobot deserves it in terms of what it offered in the whole. In my heart of hearts, if Final Fantasy VII Rebirth had have won it, I don't think I would have been upset either. But yeah, between Astrobot and Balatro, and I think that Astrobot probably edges it ever so slightly.
I mean, it's just crazy though. Like, to actually look at the success that Astrobot had, and I still don't really... It's almost taken for granted how good it is.
Yeah.
And just going through this list, I almost forgot. It's like, yeah, that did actually do it. Because there was that moment thinking Balatro's going to do it and we'd be happy, because like he says, the story was great. Shadow of the Erdtree was, causing a lot of butt hurt. I was only annoyed because I was still salty after that ridiculous end fight.
It was a pain in the ass.
Finished it, deleted it, never went back, although I've been considering it. But that did, take it down a notch for me, because I thought that was over. They didn't balance it enough. But Astrobot, that's still in my top 5 most played games this year, because my son keeps playing it. And that just says all it needs to be said. It's a classic. Whereas Balatro, like I've played more over the past year since it's won that award of Astrobot than Balatro. If you said that to me last year, I'd have like, no way. But here we are. And I have to say, like, I've not played much of Balatro as much as I thought I would this year. Like, I got out of my system. There's been other games, but yeah, that's what it is. But move on to the next year, right? Because it will get harder as we go down. Because of recency bias and all that. Is what it is. But 2023, Scott, it was a very good year. We had Baldur's Gate 3 taking the gold, nominated alongside Alan Wake 2, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4, and Super Mario Brothers Wonder. That's the one that kind of weirded me out. It's like, really?
Yeah. When I looked at the notes earlier on, I was like, what the fuck is that doing there? It's the sheep in front of the lamb. Yeah, no, it really is. I think that that's a hard year. Yeah, that's a really difficult year.
A lot of quality that year.
Again, if Alan Wake 2 or Tears of the Kingdom had have won it, again, I don't think I'd have had any gripes with it, to be honest with you. But Baldur's Gate 3, that undertaking from Larian, and the first months of that game coming out was like a tidal wave of just enthusiasm and enjoyment from the community that still ripples through to this day. Like my YouTube algorithm has been filled with Baldur's Gate 3 videos at this moment in time. But it even got me playing it. Do you know what I mean? And that was the fucking ridiculous part. But it's a worthy winner. I think it's an absolute fucking behemoth amongst them.
It is, like that's the perfect word for it. But I have to say though, like you're right, like depending on what side of the bed I wake up, it depends because, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, that's an 11 out of 10 game as well, as is Alan Wake 2. Like, Alan Wake 2, a game which I would say is easily in my top 3 or top 5 games of all time. Like insane. And the rest of them, there's no other bad games. Like Marvel Spider-Man 2 is, a fantastic game, but it's in a different level to these other ones. Resident Evil 4, not played the remake, but if it's anything like the original, then hell yeah. I mean, that it's impressive that it got nominated. Again, we probably take that for granted. Super Mario Brothers Wonder still, I'm like, who invited this in here? You know what I mean? How did he sneak in? But Baldur's Gate, man, like, yeah, I'd only be trying to like engagement farm if I was to say otherwise. It's like it's a worthy winner. It pushed that genre forward, and it's going to have like a massive impact on all these Western RPGs going forward. So no contest again, but let's see how hard it gets the further we go back, Scott. So 2022 now, right? Elden Ring, which took the crown, followed by a Plague Tale Requiem, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Now, before we start, the final da must enter the conversation at this point, Scott, because how in the fuck did Stray ever get nominated for a Game of the Year? That game was the most bland, boring experience that got overhyped because people like cats. Now that is all. You could replace the cat in that game with a Greg's sausage roll, and that me make the argument because I love sausage rolls so much. You know what I mean? It's that type of logic. I'm sorry. The Stray lovers can come at me. That game has no business being on that list. Felt it then, and I forgot about it, and I've been reminded of it today, and I'm outraged. So the final da, they say to say no cats, right? Even dogs, but no, straight nonsense. Get it to fuck. Nope.
Yeah. One of these things is not like the others. Do you know what I mean? I thought you were going to go off on Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I was like, what the fuck has Xenoblade done to you? I think this is a fucking this is like easy fucking slam dunk. The only thing would have been God of War Ragnarok, but Elden Ring was again. You're talking about God of War Ragnarok being a 10. Elden Ring is like a fucking 15 out of 10. Do you know what I mean? Like that experience, ridiculous. That all the hype leading up to Elden Ring and all the time that we waited for that game to come out, understanding that was it George R.R. Martin that done it alongside him?
Road Martin,
and doing that alongside them, and it's like this shouldn't work. It really shouldn't work, but. Taking the formula that everything we've learned from Dark Souls to Bloodborne to Demon Souls back to formula, taking it right back to formula, and managing to actually finish that game and bring it out the way that it was ridiculous. Again, an absolute massive game for 2022.
Yeah, and
ridiculous stuff, man.
It's easily stood the test of time. It's still, something you could go into Twitch or YouTube and there's still content and people pushing that game, finding new ways to experience it. Incredible. God of War Ragnarok definitely is the closest it came to it, and seems to be the recurring theme. There's always like another game which has the quality, but then it's the longevity factor that seems to be pushing it over the line so far. God of War Ragnarok, I loved. I thought it was an absolutely incredible experience, but in all God's honesty, I've went back and I've played Elden Ring more since then. I can't argue with it. A couple of strange ones in there. I still to play a Plague Tale Requiem. That's the thing. Like it's still on the list, and I can't believe that was 3 years ago now. But yeah, Elden Ring, no, it's just absolutely zero arguments for me in that one. It's an all-timer.
100%.
We'll move on. 2021, Scott, right? Very different time in the world at that point. The winner was It Takes Two, Deathloop, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and Resident Evil Village. Not a great year, Scott. I'm going to be honest.
No, not a standout year.
Not a standout year.
I think that time has been kind to games like Metroid Dread and Psychonauts 2. I think that we look at those games with a fonder heart than we probably did at the time. It Takes Two, from coming off the back of what Hazelight had managed to do with A Way Out, and managing to take that and elevate it in such a way that even now, It Takes Two is better than Split Fiction. Like, fucking 100%, 100 times over, it's better than Split Fiction. And the moments in It Takes Two, one particular moment lives with me like forever, and it still will. We never finished the game, and I don't think I have to. I think that was fine from what we managed to get from it, but just, taking that formula of what they managed to create with A Way Out and create this game that continues that legacy but also manages to create this other story was incredible.
Yeah.
I couldn't say in my heart of hearts whether there's another game that really rivals it. Deathloop was good. I thought it was good in terms of what it was doing, and really, really stylish, but it was let down in other areas. Metroid Dread, I don't know. Psychonauts 2, I played it for the first area and then I couldn't be arsed anymore. Still haven't played Ratchet and Clank, and I finished Resident Evil Village, and I'm sorry, Liam, but that game, again, does not deserve a place on this fucking list.
Village?
Village. It's good, but it's no... Maybe that's more testament to the year that 2021 was, because it's nowhere near the Game of the Year list.
Yeah, there always seems to be one outlier, doesn't there? And they can't all be hits, but to be honest with you, I looked at this one, and I don't know, like, It Takes Two always felt like it was just because of the year itself, and I'm just like, I don't know if I would have given that Game of the Year then, but now I'm like, no, but if it's based on personal choice, I much prefer playing Psychonauts 2, Metroid Dread, even Deathloop. See if Deathloop came out now, I think it would be held in higher esteem. Even though it got 10s on at the time, I think that with the roguelike craze only growing through the years, I think Deathloop would be held in better esteem now. So if a second one ever comes out, just watch it fly. Metroid Dread is an insanely good game, but Psychonauts 2 is the one that really did stay with me. It probably says more about my own headspace at the time as everybody's headspace, but Psychonauts 2 is a really special game for me, and even Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, you're 1 year into the PlayStation 5 life cycle. That was really one of the first proper blow you away experiences on it. A great platinum to get, one that I would recommend, but not one I'd give Game of the Year to. But it's a funny one, this 2021. I think it's probably one of the weaker years on this list, I would say, in total. But yeah, it's one for me. I'm like, I just don't think that It Takes Two is as much of a slam dunk, this one, in comparison to the rest. But that's just personal taste.
Yeah, no, this is probably the one that's closest, I'd say. Not for me personally, because I didn't like any of the other games really. But yeah, this one is probably as close as you're going to get for me to be like, oh well, yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, there could be more there. It could have well been, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Liam.
Should have been.
People
slept on that game. It annoys me to this day. It's a fantastic story.
I love bringing that up at any opportunity because it gets you on your soapbox.
It's and it's always on sale. There's no excuse.
It's always on sale.
I think it might also be in PS Plus or something as well.
It probably will. Did you want me to take 2020?
On you go.
You've been speaking a lot. The viewers need to hear my voice. That's just weird to say that. 2020. Not a very important year.
No.
A very laid back one. Gave us the Game of the Year was The Last of Us Part 2. And the runners-up were Animal Crossing New Horizons, Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, and Hades. Fucking hell, Liam.
Thank God for video games, eh?
Fucking hell. You know, that's testament to how we all survived 2020. Playing those games all at once.
Yeah, thank God for them, man. Like, I didn't realise how good we had it at such a bad time in the world. And, selfishly for the both of us, it wasn't all bad. We had welcomed wee ones into the world that year, which, was wonderful, but also, welcome to the world. It's now shut. But for me personally, I'm like, no notes. Like, part 2 is one of my favourite games, and it's an old-timer for me. I did not subscribe to the scuttlebutt around it, the politicising of it. Yes, you might have to play as a lady. Big deal. That's really it. But there's other games. There's moments. Animal Crossing. Doom Eternal to this day. If I need something, just that rush of blood, I still go back and play that. And now, Scott, I can join in the Final Fantasy VII remake hype. I'd actually say Ghost of Tsushima is the one that sneaked in the back door this year. And Hades, kind of another old timer. But Tsushima is the one I think that's Tsushima and probably Eternal, admittedly, are the ones that have kind of sneaked in there.
Snuck in there. I mean, it's a year where, it could have had Neo 2, Demon's Souls, what's that? Yakuza Like a Dragon, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Cyberpunk 2077 came out that year.
Oh dear.
Oh god.
About 2 years.
But also, Liam, the real the two most important games of that year, Liam, Marvel's Avengers and Bugsnax.
Oh god, yeah, remember that?
It's Bugsnax. I still have that fucking theme tune in my head talking about Bugsnax. I'm with you on this. I don't subscribe to the criticism of Last of Us Part 2. I said this a few nights ago. There's a time before certain games and there's a time after certain games. I've got an itchy back, by the way. And what do you call it? Last of Us Part 2 is one of those games where I can trace the line to where I played that for the first time, and I can still feel the emotions and everything with it. I think that Animal Crossing could well have done it for me that year as well, just in terms of the impact that it had through the year. And I think that if it had been better supported that whole year, we'd maybe be having a different conversation here. Hades as well. Mm-hmm. I don't think the world was ready to give Hades the praise that it deserved at that point in time.
No.
With Final Fantasy VII Remake as well, 100%. I don't really agree with you with Tsushima. I think you're looking at that from the lens of 2025 with Yote. I remember Ghost of Tsushima coming out at that time, and it was life altering in terms of how good that game looked, how well it played, and the story that it told. Now, I'd agree with you, but back then it was a fucking brilliant experience. But
I mean, yeah,
absolutely.
The fact that we got both of them that year as well was insane.
Absolutely none of them touch The Last of Us Part 2. It's a fucking ridiculous game.
Yeah, and I have to say, like, special props to Animal Crossing, like you said. Like, I remember playing that with my daughter, who was only 2.5 at the time, and I still can't quite go back to it. You get emotional, but it's also like remembering. I think all of us thinking the same with Animal Crossing at points that you'll have that memory if you played it in 2020.
Yeah,
and just that much needed routine, that appreciation of video gaming to kind of keep you sane.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's I'm glad it's on there. But yeah, Last of Us Part 2 all the way. What about 2019, Scott? What did we have then?
2019. Speaking of fucking excellent games, my God, this year is a Scott Curry year if there's ever been one. Good indeed. Lord. 2019 Game of the Year was Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. We saw Control, Death Stranding, Resident Evil 2 Remake, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and The Outer Worlds be deserved runner-ups, because Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice is the Game of the Year for 2019.
Yeah,
that's that conversation over.
You won't have it.
No.
Although, I will say so, Scott, I was shocked because I didn't dream that it would win, because remember going into it that year, it was all about Control.
Mm-hmm.
all about control, and I think it stood the test of time. In fact, even more so now, people have realised, man, Sekiro had it. You know, it had the sauce, and almost to the point it doesn't quite get the respect. Like, I think people forget sometimes that there's a Game of the Year winner. In this context, of course, I mean, Control had taken a lot of other ones at publications. There is a, Outer Worlds definitely snuck in the fire escape.
Yeah, I'm glad you said it, because I don't want to roast that game anymore, but 100%, it's almost like, that paid to be in there.
I mean, this is the thing. This is the fallacy of all these award shows. Any type of award, take it from me, right? Take it from me. Worked in comms, marketing, PR. A lot of these times, these things are bought. I'm not saying this was happening here, right? But to the highest bidder, sometimes it goes, right? But there is a little bit of, the inside baseball of it all can help you get so far. And a lot of the times, getting nominated does huge amounts for a game. So it's good that it's on there. But I'm at the time thinking, Outer Worlds? Really?
Yeah.
I'm surprised to see it on here. But aye. Resi 2, though. I mean, Resident Evil's actually got quite a...
It's got a lot in there.
Here.
Yeah, it's quite shocking, actually, to be honest with you.
Always the bridesmaids, but it's...
Yeah, I mean, I think Resident Evil 2 Remake is probably the best of the remake saga, to be honest with you. And if you were going to give it to one, then Resident Evil 2 would have certainly been the game on there. Yeah. What other games could they potentially have given us for that? Fire Emblem Three Houses, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah, surprised didn't make it that year.
Yeah, Metro Exodus, Devil May Cry 5. You know what I always say, Liam? Borderlands 3 never got the respect that it deserved. Shenmue 3 is another one that never really got the... Yeah, it did. It came and went. Disco Elysium 2019. I thought that was later, but apparently, according to Google, it might have been like an early access thing, or I thought that was later on.
So you may be right,
Disco Elysium release in 2019.
Is insane. In fact, it's not featured any years later.
Yeah. Wow. The final cut version released in 2021, but it was the original release for that game was in October of 2019. That
wouldn't
in
happen
itself
today.
Is a fucking shock to the system.
That wouldn't happen today. I know, like me myself, it's a 6 out of 10 game, right? But it's that wouldn't happen today because I think the PC community has grown. And it's grown into more of this kind of mainstream space. Not saying PC isn't mainstream, of course it is. It's the grandfather of them all, but it's I can't believe that. Especially for how highly regarded it is now. It's still a lot of people's all-timers. People love 6 out of 10 score, what can I say? But
you're a disgrace. What I will say, Liam, is there's one game being omitted from that list that it is an absolute disgusting... I may actually have to write to Jeff Keighley. Tetris 99 not making the list in 2019 is a fucking is a goddamn disgrace.
I know. If he was too busy just not getting these trailers on the show, he's been seeing the greatness in front of him. Not on toilet breaks in that man's life.
Disgusting. What is it? They're saying recently that it's £1 million for 3 minutes of advertisement on the Game Awards now. £1 million.
No wonder. I mean, the numbers it gets is insane. I can't take it away from. It's a pain in the ass, but it's it is what it is. But probably there'll be people out there, Scott, listening to this who, like ourselves, stayed up to watch it all on Friday or Thursday night. I just still want them to do it at a decent time. It's not the West Coast, so that's not the centre of the universe in gaming. And, just, I don't know, just maybe get them to go a bit earlier or something. I don't know. There's ways around it, man. Go faster. Make it a tight hour.
Right,
so we've got the next one, Scott, which I think...
2018. This is probably going to be one that we disagree on. Maybe.
I have to say, Scott, before you tell us what it is, I generally think this might be, like, in terms of gaming years, this might be one of the greatest of all time gaming years ever.
Yeah. And this highlights probably one of the biggest robberies in human history. 2018, ladies and gentlemen, brought us God of War 2018. Cannot say that. Was the winner of Game of the Year that year. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Celeste, Marvel's Spider-Man, Monster Hunter World and Red Dead Redemption 2 were all runners-up in that year.
What a selection of games, man. Like,
Liam, I didn't realise this, okay? I didn't realise God of War won the Game of the Year that year above Red Dead Redemption 2. Mm-hmm. See, if I had known that sooner, I would have lost all respect for the Game Awards much earlier than I have already. That has genuinely shocked me to my core that I don't think I can take the Game Awards seriously anymore.
I mean, that was the year, if you remember, you had Christopher Judge up there to give one of the awards, and I had that moment, read it, boy, that kind of thing, and it was their year, man. Like, at Red Dead 2, I have got 2 games. I've got little art prints up on my wall here that I had made, and I've got 2 games featured on it, and these are both of the games, God of War and Red Dead Redemption 2. The rest of it's reserved for films, but yeah, I can't pick between them, and I'm like that. I think it just comes down to it. I think more people love and revere God of War than what they do, admittedly, Red Dead Redemption 2, because of the type of games that they are. One you could batter through in 15 to 20 hours. The other one is going to command at least 60 from you, and it's much more deliberate. Both of them, absolute masterpieces. The rest of them, all great games. Celeste is probably the only one in there that's like all-timer for me. But I mean, listen, Marvel Spider-Man's a fantastic game. For me, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, amazing. Admittedly, it sneaked in the back door here, right? But I absolutely adore Odyssey. I mean, just think, what a damn year. We had no right that year. It
was a very good year. I had a very good beer. 2018 also brought us Forza Horizon 4, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, the very first Kingdom Come Deliverance, Far Cry 5, A Way Out as well.
Okay.
Any good games in there? Jurassic World Evolution, Liam?
Loved it. At the height of my skint new parent phase, at that point, Christ knows how the hell I managed to hustle my way out of that with God of War later in the year. I can tell I kind of settled down by then.
At that point, anyway.
Selling everything to get these games, man. Like, honestly, selling my shoelaces.
The biggest shock of that year, Liam, is the fact that Fallout 76 never made the list.
I mean,
a damn disgrace. A damn disgrace. Yeah. But I genuinely cannot believe that Red Dead Redemption didn't win it that year. And yeah, it shook me to my core.
I think it's one to remember on the eve now of Grand Theft Auto 6 coming out.
Yeah.
Because by all accounts, like, Red Dead Redemption 2 is such a technical achievement and also a narrative achievement as well. It's redefined open worlds. It'll be the standard. But I think this might be important to remember when we're at the Game Awards next year, and Grand Theft Auto 6 may get nominated for it. And I think was this point in 2018 the start of the Rockstar kind of slam dunk, no-brainer kind of going away, because that could be telling. We'll see, because it's like, I'll be taking it for granted. And
we had that conversation fucking very early on in this podcast. Is it we take Rockstar for granted? Like, it's just expected at this point. Even with Fortnite, I think I was also to do with Fortnite is that we just accept that they're going to be good. But we're happy with God of War. I guess. I think
it stands up.
With 2017, also another decent year for video games. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild hit the world and won Game of the Year. Horizon Zero Dawn, Persona 5, PUBG, I'm not saying the full name because I don't give two fucks about that game, and also Super Mario Odyssey.
Wahoo!
Were on the list. Get PUBG right to fuck. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I know we're trying to appeal to impact, but PC gamers, you know what I mean? Like, who cares? Breath of the Wild is the answer. It's the answer.
It is a bit. Let me tell you, man. Like, this is Nintendo's best year ever. You know,
a ridiculous shit, Liam. I'm happy.
I'm
I'm happy to tell people, you know, other games that were showing up in that year as well, because it is outrageous the games that never made this list. We're talking about, you know, the return of Resident Evil with Resident Evil 7,
Wolfenstein 2, New
Wolfenstein 2, Cuphead,
Assassin's Creed Origins,
Prey 2017, Assassin's Creed Origins, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Hollow Knight.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We look at that, revere that now. For Honor. What else? Fucking excellent game.
That was the year I became a father. 2017. A father. Dad, for all those non-Scottish listeners out there. But I remember so desperately, just kind of at the start of the year, I had welcomed my baby niece into the world. My sister had her first as well that year, and getting the Nintendo Switch, it was the same year that came out. I mean, what a launch year.
Yeah.
And Breath of the Wild dominating the first half, and then to the last half where I was expecting my daughter's arrival and playing Super Mario Odyssey. And it's still like one of those early memories of just clutching the Switch for dear life. Mm-hmm. And, you know, battering through it as this like newborn. I'm like, how the hell do I look after this child? But you figure it out as you do. I'm actually surprised to see like Horizon Zero Dawn. Remember, that was the one where it came out, and a few days later Breath of the Wild came out. It's like, damn. Yeah. Bad stinking luck. But I think that sneaked in. If I'm honest, I think it sneaked in Zero Dawn, to be fair, with PUBG in tow. I'm not the Persona 5 guy, but I'm not going to sit here and final diet just now. Like, I know that was well revered.
Royal was better. You know what I mean? Like, the improvements that they made on that game ultimately, you know, have made it the reason why it's so revered and loved at the moment. But back in 2017, I couldn't in all conscience not give it to Breath of the Wild, to be honest with you.
Good, but well, nearly there. We've only got 3 years left. Scott, we'll take 2016, and then you can bring us home.
Bring us home.
2016 was again, these are all good years, so I've got fond memories of them all. But 2016 Game of the Year winner was Overwatch. Nominated alongside it was Doom, Inside, Titanfall 2, and Uncharted 4, Thieves' End. Scott, the final dad's back here, and he's here to say that Uncharted 4, Thieves' End should have won it that year. Sorry. And also, one more punch, but Titanfall 2 has snuck in the back door, as did Inside.
Oh, God. Okay, the world is not going to be happy about that, Liam.
Absolutely. Right. I will start, right? Let's line them up here, right? Inside, I remember playing that game, and it was like 10 out of 10, all the rest of it. Playing it, I've never been more bored in my life getting to the end of it. I beat it in like basically 2 sittings in the same day. I was like, what the hell was that? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm sure there's a Simpsons moment coming to the head. Oh, in fact, no, it's like Family Guy. It's like, for Christ's sake, somebody throw a pie. You know, I'm not sitting there searching for depth. I'm there to have fun. Titanfall 2, basically that one mission where you're kind of snapping back and forth between realities, and all of a sudden people are heralding it as the greatest single-player campaign of all time. Give over. That's like the mythology of that in the years since has done it more favours than actually playing it in 2016. And that's the God's honest truth, just for me. But they can come at the final darks. Doesn't care.
I'll welcome it. I mean, it's hard to disagree. I think that you spoke about impact in terms of, you know, PUBG in the year after, but Overwatch, what that was doing back in 2016 was like nothing else. Do you know what I mean? And you know, package the gameplay, all the characters, but then you also had the wee shorts and stuff that they were doing. It was a fucking excellent game, and I can't not see it as Game of the Year, to be honest with you. I think that it does deserve its place on there. The games that were missed out from that list: Dishonored 2, Liam, a crying shame.
And Dark Souls should be on there instead of this muck.
It should be. What I mean? Dark Souls 3.
Jesus.
Firewatch.
Man, Firewatch is better than Inside.
The Last Guardian.
Mm-hmm. Not my cup of tea, Last Guardian.
The Witness, if you like fucking shite games.
Can I get one?
Oh no, he's done it. No, you can't do this to me. And yeah, that's basically it.
good solid year. We were a few years into it. I felt like that was when the PlayStation 4 generation was finally starting to hit its groove, and when we had all but given up on the Xbox One officially at that point. I think for me, my head totally understands why Overwatch. And I have many great memories playing that, but my heart is still leaning towards Uncharted 4 because I'm a sucker for these big narrative type games. And yeah, that's just one's own personal thoughts, but we can't agree with them all. But I won't.
I don't even think I could disagree with you. I think that if you were to change that list and put Uncharted 4 at the front, I don't think I could have been like, no.
No. I mean, that's enough about 2016, Scott. I want you to talk to us about 2015 if you can, because I suspect some hiccups on your part.
No, I've got it. I'm fine. I had to just
out of everything here, right? This is the one I think that specifically targets Scott Curry's heart to cause as much pain as possible. Take it away, Scott.
2015. One of the game of the year that year was The Witcher 3: The Wild Hunt. The losers for that year: Bloodborne, Fallout 4, Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain, and Super Mario Maker.
What a year, man. What a year for games.
If there's ever been a year for Scott Curry, do you know what I mean? That's it. Two, if not three, of my favourite games of all time in that list. And I'm including The Witcher 3: The Wild Hunt in there now. But he
just can't bring himself to it. I mean,
in my heart of hearts, genuinely, in terms of remembering how The Witcher 3 came out, and watching the development of that game, and seeing it actually then be realised, it was incredible. And still is to this day incredible. It obviously had its hiccups in terms of, what it was shown at first and then how it came out and looked worse, and the worlds weren't as populated as they initially promised and stuff. But for what we got from that game, it was fucking outrageous in terms of the undertaking of it. Bloodborne, it's more of I feel like it's more niche in terms of, the people that enjoy it. And it's now just the meme of everyone talking about Bloodborne and how much we love it. I am not giving any credence to Fallout 4. The worst Fallout game, in my opinion. It's pure shite. Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. You couldn't have given it Game of the Year.
No.
It's the Kojima tax.
No.
Yeah, gameplay wise, but it's the Kojima tax of all this. There's a reason why every single game that Hideo Kojima has brought out since has been on the fucking list, because Jeff Keighley loves that man like a father. It's a phenomenal game, but it had a shite ending and didn't wrap things up, and I'll still never forgive him for it. But gameplay wise and what it was doing in terms of incorporating that Peace Walker gameplay and everything that you came to love from that, a brilliant experience, 10 out of 10. And I can't deny its place on the list. Super Mario Maker is one for you, Liam. Like you fucking loved that shit. So
I did, yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed getting to play that on my Wii U at the time. It gave me a reason to play it. I have to say, I have such fond memories. This was the first year I had moved out into my first home with my wife, and each one of those games you're mentioning there was a moment in time. Just sort of independence. I remember sitting on, we had just had individual chairs in the living room playing The Witcher 3: Wild Hunt, and I just sat right in front of the telly, and she's like, "Is this how it's going to be?" And it was just a joke, but she's like, "Well, just pure buzzing with the novelty." Then in Bloodborne, literally, I think it was the week or that month that I first moved in, sitting playing that. Fast forward the year of Fallout 4, you came up to the house, I had 2 copies and gave you the other one, but it was just that hype. Remember the way they dropped Fallout 4 out of nowhere, very short release, announcement to release window, and then culminating the year with Metal Gear Solid 5, being on the phone to you and you telling us that GeForce has copies of it. We both had the special edition pre-ordered. You went and got it. I then immediately got in the car, drove into Glasgow and purchased a copy, which I then later sold a few days later when the special edition arrived, because it was we need to get our hands on it. It's such a fond time in my life. 2015, but all these games, I mean, Witcher 3 is genuinely one of the best and one of my most favourite games. That's definitely in that top 5 conversation. Bloodborne is in there as well. And that's just like a more recent one at the time. Didn't finish it because I was pish at it. But I got pretty far. I didn't realise how short it was in comparison, but in my head I was like, man, this is a bigger undertaking than I thought. Going back to finish that a few years later, getting the platinum at your behest, and I'm like, yeah, I would actually go as far as say I would go and get the Hunter's Mark tattooed on me right now if I could, because I love that game so much. And it's cliche, it's what fellow Crust members will say, but yeah, I totally agree with you. It's the more niche choice, and I think really it is like the complete package. Witcher 3, I have no notes at this point.
Nah, I don't think I can argue it. I've just as you were mentioning that there, I was just looking at other games that potentially could have been in, few and far between. Undertale came out at that time. Pillars of Eternity came out, but the rest of it, hit and miss. Ori and the Blind Forest, Divinity: The Original Sin 1, I believe. That is, yeah, the enhanced edition for that. Crypt of the Necrodancer, and pretty much that's your whack. It was a good year, but
bring us on home, Scott. Bring us on home.
Oh God, there's one underneath that. So there is. 2014,
the inaugural year.
Game Awards, which gave us Dragon Age Inquisition as Game of the Year, Bayonetta 2, Dark Souls 2, Hearthstone, and Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor were the runners-up for that year. So Dragon Age and Inquisition, can't see past it, Liam. Maybe a Shadow of Mordor if you could have, forgiven licensed games, but Dragon Age Inquisition was, and still is, up there with the best Dragon Age games, ever made for me. And it's hard to see past it, especially in 2014, bringing a game like that out. Disgusting things.
I know. It's I don't have any notes really, and I think a lot of people forget that Dragon Age, that was the first one that took the gong, I suppose, at this showcase, dressed up as an award show. But I mean, look, Hearthstone, the first time the world heard of Ben Brode, who would later go on to make Marvel Snap.
I don't think it was the first time anyone heard that man.
Yeah, I mean,
fucking the loudest human being on planet Earth.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor, what a surprise! It was such an awkward year, though. Yeah, because it was that, the new generation just getting into the swing of things. It didn't feel like there was a lot to play. I remember just feeling that feeling of it, like there was a dearth of games, and then the Shadow of Mordor came out cool, and then Dragon Age Inquisition right at the tail end of the year. People were like, oh, right, now I get it. It feels like we're here. Now this is pod racing, all that type of stuff. So, yeah, it was a good, I don't have any notes in that one going further back. I think on the whole, looking at it all, right, at all of these years since 2014 onwards, the theme is that the ones that won generally, on the whole, but 95% of them, bar a couple of ones that objected to, all have won and they've had the staying power.
Yeah.
Which just goes to show you, it's like the cream does always rise to the top, and there is always one that sneaks in the back door as well. That seems to be the funny thing that I notice. Like there's ones in there that's kind of like, maybe they would just reduce the amount. Would that make it easier? Because they've added more and more as time goes on. And there is probably a little bit more eyebrow-raising ones in there. And a few weird ones where you're like, the Disco Elysiums and all that. Like, would that happen today? No, because it shows you how different the zeitgeist has become, I suppose, as well, in terms of where these games are playable and, how many gamers are actually getting their hands on them. Is it a case that, PC has become steadily more and more and more mainstream? It's never going to overtake consoles in this, this type of show, because they're going for that type of audience as well. They're trying to get a wider one. And I believe it's like on like Amazon and stuff now. But yeah, it's interesting. It's been a quite cool exercise going back, and it's almost like a little journey through time, the past like decade and a bit of what we'd all been playing. And the one thing I want to finish on, Scott, right? I'm looking at all these lists of games and the nominees,
And
I'm kind of sick at the thought of like, man, how much money have we spent in playing all of them? Because we've probably bought most of every game.
Yeah, most, if not all of them, to be honest with you, then that is disgusting.
That's a reckoning. Yeah, I am hiding that one from the better half. But I think we should move on to wrap up the show, which means, of course, it's time for the Pixel Pick Showdown, where each week we each pick a game from our chosen theme, decide which one deserves to live on in the hallowed Pixel Picks list, which is our definitive list of the best games we recommend and pass on to the next generation of gamers. The last week's team, I believe it's the best system seller game with Grand Theft Auto 3 becoming the latest addition to the list. Am I right in that one?
Indeed you were.
There we go. You'd make one mistake and you're paranoid for the rest of your life. In this week's Showdown, we're debating what the best snubbed Game of the Year game we think should feature on the Pixel Picks list. Now, the rules are simple here, Scott. It can't be on the list already, but it must be one of the nominees that didn't win. That's basically it. So, last week's winner goes last. I can't remember who won it the last time.
You did.
All right, okay. That's good. Lovely. So, you go first then, Scott. You go.
That's me. I'll go first then. This perceived itself to be quite difficult to begin with, purely because a lot of the games that we're talking about on the Game of the Year list are already on the list. You know what I mean? Like, we're talking about almost 100 games on this list now. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just like,
yeah,
like most of them, if not all of them, are on there, but one isn't. One game isn't. I've not even got an honourable mention for this week because, you know, I feel confident about the decision that I'm making with this one.
I love it. Love the confidence.
But my choice for this week takes us back to 2019, Liam.
Right.
And a little game from Remedy called Control.
Okay.
A game that, you know, off the back of the excitement of Alan Wake and everything, this was obviously pre-Alan Wake 2, and it gave us a setting that we didn't really understand to begin with. The Federal Bureau of Control and the oldest house. You obviously play as Jessie, and she is, you know, an agent in this Federal Bureau of Control.
Yeah.
But it gives you everything that you come to expect from Remedy at this point now. You know, this is the hallmark of what Remedy have become over time. You know, you see the Twin Peaks in there. You know what I mean? Like the surrealism, the constant sort of psychological mind fuckery that this game just wants to play on you. And it just carries that the whole way through it. Do you know what I mean? Like it is giving me some of the most memorable moments in video games, I would say. And going for the platinum trophy on that when that game came out, I didn't play it at first, but I played it later down the line and got the platinum trophy for it. But you know, things like the service weapon, for example, that gun that changes the levitation, the telekinesis, like flying about the fucking world, it's class. It's just like you feel like you're floating about, and it's brilliant. The gunplay, you know, leaves a lot to be desired, but it is still an excellent fucking game. And as I say, there's moments in it where you're walking through that hotel, you pull the light switch, and it's just like things change. And it's like, what the fuck am I doing here? And these are just things that we take for granted now with Alan Wake 2. It's like, oh man, this is good. But these were all bits in Control that were already there. Yeah. And it breadcrumbed you, you know. It was telling a story through files and through these tapes where you would have, you know, it's not El Cavilli. What's the name of the guy who does the voice for Alan Wake? Oh my god, I cannot remember his name. But
that guy,
yeah, him. But basically, it gives you like different videos and everything, like through the lens of like a projection where you can see it on screen. It's like, man, the world building in it is just incredible, you know. And it really did. I think that Sam Lake is going to be remembered for Alan Wake 2. That is his opus, you know. This is his coming out moment. But Control is, you can see the DNA of Alan Wake in there. You can see the If Control was the ape, Alan Wake 2 is the man on 2 feet walking. Do you know what I mean? Like the caveman, we can see it, and you can see the actual growth of it. But it was snubbed in a year where we had fucking Sekiro, Death Stranding, and everything else there as well. So rightfully so. But in any other year, you could have made an argument for that to have been Game of the Year, and that's why it is my choice for this week.
Smashing. Well, you know me, Scott. Like I like to be dastardly at this game now. It's the 85th entry on this already. We're just about five ones out, I believe, because it's episode 90. So I've run out of time here as we approach 100. I've got to make sure that we just actually get things in there, go for the W, the tap-ins. And you're right, Control would probably make a good case for itself in most other years, except for the year which I'm picking. Now, first of all, I've got to give my honourable mention shout, which of course is this year, which is Donkey Kong Bonanza. Yep, I'm putting the chips on the table. We know it's not winning Game of the Year, even though I have no idea now, but we know by the time you'll hear this. But I'm giving it to DK Bonanza because I think that one anybody can play. It will be endlessly enjoyable unless you're pish at it in Scott's case. But that's why I'm going to give it that one's honourable mention. But my snubbed Game of the Year game, Scott, the low-hanging fruit, but the one that I think that deserves a place on this list, on any list, and would actually hold its own in most other years, and particularly well against the one that you've picked, because anybody can pick up and play and discover the joy that is video games. I'm picking Astro Bot. Has to be done.
That won it though.
No, it didn't. It's not on the list. If it is,
it won the best snubbed Game of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
That one Game of the Year.
Oh, so it did. I've shot myself in the bloody.
Get up, yeah.
Oh dear.
Yes.
Well, I'll have to pick a better one then, Scott. A better one. My other actual pick, God of War Ragnarok.
Is that not on the list?
No, Ragnarok. God of War is. Ragnarok isn't. That was the other one. I've got many picks here, Scott. Many picks. All the picks. I can pick from a list of absolutely fucking a bounty of fucking picks here in front of me. But yeah, like God of War Ragnarok as well. I think that just stands a better test of time. I'll go as far to say I probably enjoyed that more than the original, to be honest with you. I think just because I had the advantage of finishing off a story. Not to say that, didn't enjoy God of War, it's one of my favourite games of all time, but just the gameplay was tighter, etc. Had a much better twist in there. Speaking of dastardliness, but yeah, I'll keep it short and brief. I'll go for God of War Ragnarok, but we'll leave it in your capable hands, Scott, to give the deciding call here.
I don't know, Liam. I don't know. I'll leave it in your capable hands.
Right. Which one of the two games? I'm sitting down for a game any night of the week, and you put those two in front of me. I'm reaching for Ragnarok over Control every time because Control just has a little bit more of an oppressive, weird atmosphere, which I love. But it's one of those ones that if you ain't in the right mood, you're coming with a sore head. Whereas at least God of War Ragnarok has the advantage of it being a fantastic, amazing game that you can play in any mood, I would argue as well. But listen, I'm biased. I'm going to be dastardly here, Scott. I'm going for the W.
I'll concede because I'm a bigger man. And yeah, the robbery is real.
Yeah, it's about time. I think I can't even spell it now. We've reached that point in the evening where I'm losing the ability to talk, as Scott knows very well. It's a strange phenomenon. Gets to about 11 o'clock-ish at night and I absolutely go. But yeah, congratulations to God of War Ragnarok. You are the winner of this week's Pixel Pick Showdown and Best Snubbed Game of the Year game. Next week, we'll be potentially picking what the Best Snubbed Scott's Choice game will be that's on this. We'll be winding them up because we'll be here all day. The final dad's coming out now. But yeah. On that note, though, that does bring us to the end of this week's podcast. So thank you once again for joining us. Remember to support all the small independent games media out there. So if you like what you hear and you enjoy this podcast, share it on social media, tell your friends about us, or leave us a wee 5-star review. Whatever you choose to do, it really does make a massive difference. So thank you so much for doing that. And also remember, Join the free Patreon community at patreon.com/pixelparents to support the show. Now, Scott, it's test time, sir. Where can people find you online if they wish to just discuss with you all the big things that happened to the Game Awards?
Don't, but I'll be on Blue Sky at lamaman.bsky.social, probably getting angry about something.
Nah, he'll be too busy talking about how he's buying a Steam machine, and we wait to hear what his verdict is. I do look forward to that next year. If you want to hear from myself, you can follow me on Blue Sky as well at carmelite.bsky.social. Of course, a big, massive shout out and a thank you to a producer and music man, very talented, handsome and wonderful. Christmas all year round, Mr. Sean Murray. Go show him some love. Check out his work on Instagram at Barehands Designs and barehandsdesigns.com. And who knows, you might be seeing him sometime soon. But of course, you can listen to the next episode on all major podcast platforms and follow us on Blue Sky at pixelparents.bsky.social or write to us at pixelparentspodcast@gmail.com. Like we say, wherever you are, just like, share, subscribe, and please play some damn games. Treat yourself this week. It's nearly the holidays, it's time to get in your comfies, go play some good games. And yeah, let's just do it. Do the damn thing. Play all the video games. Scott, it's been a pleasure. Until next time, stay safe, stay sane, and thanks for listening.
Robbery. I can't believe fucking Red Dead Redemption 2 didn't win. Disgusting.
One of the masks, eh? That's me.
Disgusting.